checking and making sure that the stream was up and running and checking things out. Get kicked out on us at some point in time. Either way, well, that gets back up and running. It should be open for you folks in about 30 seconds. We will take a peek at the lineup for the Oysters. Corey Williams leads it off. Reed and Applegate the top three. Gottfried, Embry, and Wright in the middle. Stokes, Colson, and Whaling will be the bottom third, and then Marsh, Hines, and Spritzer close out the 12-batter order for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. As we said, Marcus George on the mound facing off against his former teammate, and the first pitch misses down low to Corey Williams as the count goes to 1-0. Sixers in the field. Camrad behind the dish to do the receiving for Marcus George, who winds and misses, and the count to 2-0 on Corey Williams. Sixers in the field then go to McAnally at first, Crecilius at second, Hoff at third, and then the shortstop, Cade Coates. Left fielder is Broden Robbins, center fielder Nolan Horton, and then over in right field, Zach Hall spelling Anthony Pacheco today as that pitch misses, and 3 straight out of the zone for Marcus George, trying to find that footing. It's a little bit different from the bullpen mound to the mound out there on the field, as bullpen mounds also have that turf mat on there, but it's not necessarily as worn of a turf mat, and always got to kind of feel that difference out as that pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Really focused in and threw that one right to the glove of Camerad, did Marcus George. 3-1 delivery. And that one finds the inside corner as Corey Williams taken all the way there as well. Now no place to go for Corey. Got to be aggressive here at the plate as Marcus will stare into him. Wide stance, now strides forward, and that one bounces up. Williams shows some patience, and it pays off for him as he draws the walk. Leadoff man on for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Reed will step up, the right fielder. That's from the right-handed side. We'll see how patient he is to give Williams some time to try and maybe steal on the base pass. Camrad's a very good arm behind home plate, though. So you got to get a good jump on him, particularly with the pitcher that is quick to the plate like Marcus George. Williams won't go off at first. Bunt put down right out in front of home. Camerad to the ball, fires to first for McAnally. Out number 1 is recorded on the sacrifice, and the Oysters settle for just moving a runner up. 2-3 on the putout. Williams now in scoring position. Applegate, the first baseman, will take his cuts against George, another right-hander. And then Gottfried waits in the on-deck circle. Should get an opportunity with the double play being somewhat limited on the options you can get with it. Left-handed batter in Applegate, working against the righty George. Applegate was an extra hitter for the Oysters the first time these two teams faced off. Now playing out in the field over at first. Takes a huge cut out in front on the fastball and taps that one short. 0-1 the count. And he knows George can throw hard, and he was expecting that first pitch fastball. See if Marcus goes off speed or if they decide to go back into the hard stuff once again. Checking down to the dugout. Looks like Gary Harley, the man calling the balls and strikes, or calling the pitches today for Marcus George. Giving a break from Markham King on that roll. Pitch upstairs, just a little bit high. Applegate lays off. That makes a little bit of sense. Harley's been working with Marcus George for the last 5 years now and knows him very well. Markham King also working with the program for a while, but not necessarily with the varsity program. Pitch back to second base. We'll have Corey Williams diving back, trying to make sure he is there. George peers back once again. Step to the plate, swing and a miss. Got him on the off speed. A little bit of a mix up there to Applegate. Now he's got to be contemplating things as he peers off to the left field fence before stepping back into that left-handed batter's box. 1-2 count in favor of Marcus George, looking for out number 2. Scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Oysters with a runner on first after a leadoff walk. Runner on second, rather, after the leadoff walk. The pitch dips low as the count goes to 2-2. 12 pitches for George coming up. Marcus, though, not one of those you worry on pitch count so much as some of the other players that are younger for this roster. Marcus is one of those that 90, 100, even getting to that 110 mark doesn't necessarily make him flinch too much. Strike three, swinging. Going up in the zone, and Applegate obliges by chasing. He's strikeout number one for Marcus George. Gottfried will step to the batter's box, the second baseman. Tall, lanky. He's the pitcher that went 8 innings against the Sixers the first time around between these two teams. Gave up the 1 run in the top of the 8th inning, but ended up getting the win as he takes a called strike. Got a bigger strike zone. Shouldn't be too hard to find that. He got to be 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in that general vicinity, maybe even taller than that. He towers over even the umpire there behind home plate. The umpire's not necessarily somebody that lacks in the vertical department either. 0-1 delivery. That one, good block by Camerad behind the plate. And the count goes to 1-1. Sun beaming in. Shadows cast from left to right. Again, early morning game here at Colorado Mesa University. Even yesterday, the first game wasn't until 10 o'clock, so trying to get woken up to a new schedule, and the Oysters are as well. They haven't played too many of the early games for the Oysters Black squad. So they're also in that wake up and get woken up. They were also the nightcap last night, since they were playing a game till later than most. Ended up going the distance in that one too. All 7 innings in a 6-5 contest with Grand Junction that they had to come back from behind. And I was talking with their coach a little bit walking in, and he said, yeah, we took some time to get woken up. Bats just didn't necessarily produce a little bit. Had to get our energy going, and once we did, we were able to light up the Tigers a little bit, and that helped set this up for the championship, or the other way around would have been Rocky Mountain Oysters White that the Sixers would have been facing off again as Gottfried fouls off a 2-2. And the count will stay settled right there. Still at second base, Corey Williams hoping for an opportunity. But Marcus George doing a good job after the leadoff walk of shutting down the rest of this roster for the Oysters. Gave up a sacrifice bunt. And Applegate and Gottfried since then have not been able to do much. Gottfried, 2-2 count. That's shot back up the middle, but Coates, placed perfectly, is lined up about 5-10 feet behind the bag, and he just pulls that one in for the easy out. Up and down go the Oysters. No hits. They do leave a runner as we head to the top of the 2nd inning. No score here in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Eight seconds. A test of grit. The clash of brute strength. The battle of man versus beast. 2 nights of PRCA's Extreme Bulls Tour. Bucks into Cheyenne Frontier Days this July 21st and 22nd. The ultimate showdown, where every second counts. Don't miss the Extreme Bulls at Cheyenne Frontier Days. Tickets on sale now at cftrodeo.com.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange serves up breakfast, lunch, and dinner each Monday through Saturday. And at Chick-fil-A, they don't have to stray from their menu. They're proud of what they do all the time. Chicken. Check them out online at CheyenneChicken.com and have them cater your next event. Use the convenient drive-thrus. Come inside or use the Chick-fil-A app to do your next order. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange.
Post 6 is back out onto the sticks as they look to try and break this scoreless tie, moving into the 2nd inning on the Pepsi scoreboard. No score yet. It'll be Nolan Horton, Colin Crecilius, Braden Camrad, the heart of the order for the Sixers due up in this one. Horton, another one of those Sixers who's been having a fantastic tournament so far. Was not retired in the first game of the tournament. Had 3 hits in game number 2, including a single, double, and a triple. Nearly had the cycle. Got a chance for it in the last inning, but ended up coming up just shy of that cycle as final at bat ended up walking. Still went 3 for 4 on the day. Had the best day of any Sixer. Here he takes a pitch, and the count goes to 2-0 as he gets himself ahead early on against Stokes, who pitched a 1-2-3 first inning, got 2 ground outs, and then a strikeout of Cade Coates. Stokes, though, finding trouble locating into the zone, and Horton obliging to let him just continue to miss. Shot towards short on the 3-0 count. Horton was swinging, and the throw over to first base, just able to keep his foot on the bag, was Applegate as the throw a little bit wide coming from Marsh at short, but the 6-3 putout is going to get out number 1 onto the board for the Oysters. Sixers still searching for their first base runner. Will look to Colin Crecilius. Crecilius frustrated yesterday with the strike zone of the umpire. I'm not 100% sure. It might be the same umpire back behind home for him this morning. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Got 2 called strike 3s yesterday at the end of the game when the Sixers were up big that were questionable. This time cuts earlier on in the count, flies one out towards Corey Williams, glides over to his left and puts it away. Fly out to center field is out number 2 here in the top of the second inning, and Braden Camerad, the catcher and backstop for the Sixers, will line himself up. He got the go-ahead run against the Rocky Mountain Oysters Gold team yesterday. Punched one out into left field to bring home both the tying and the go-ahead runs in the 7-run rally the Sixers had. Here he shoots one towards third on the first pitch he sees. Long throw across the diamond, and another good grab by Applegate. Saves the ball, and the Sixers go down on 7 pitches. Couple ground outs and a fly out in the top of the second inning, but still looking for that first base runner that has eluded them. We'll step aside, come back. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
In the last week of July, you'll find the superstars of rodeo at Cheyenne Frontier Days. The world's top cowboys, cowgirls, buck and brocks, and toughest bulls. Grab your hat, pull on your boots, and join in the Cowboys' favorite rodeo. Rodeo tickets on sale now. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the wildest ride in the West.
During the month of June, as part of the Subaru Loves to Care initiative, Halliday Subaru is partnering with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to provide warm blankets and messages of hope, written by our staff and customers to support patients facing cancer.
To learn more about what Halliday Subaru is doing for patients and their families in our community, visit HallidaySubaru.com.
Welcome back out to Grand Junction, Colorado, the Hamilton Ballpark. Here at the campus of Colorado Mesa University, the Bus Bergman Athletics Complex. Track and field facility just behind for the outdoor track and field facility. Have the softball field off the right field fence, and then the basketball courts, volleyball courts off behind center field. Tennis courts off to the left. Beautiful complex here on the campus here in Grand Junction, Colorado. Been a growing process for this facility. This one only 3 years old when it was first completed. The Colorado Mesa Mavericks used to play across the way at Simplicio Field, home of the Junior College World Series. Stepping up to the plate, it'll be Embry for the Rocky Mountain Oysters Black Squad. Looks out from that right-handed batter's box to Marcus George. Gave up a walk, but was very good after that. Ended up seeing a line out to shortstop, a strikeout, and got a sacrifice bunt. Loses a curveball a little bit high, and the count goes to 1-0 to Embry to lead things off. Oysters Black, a team of graduates. I was finding a little bit more about this roster and kind of the Rocky Mountain Oysters team. It's not a team that's made up of anybody from one city. In fact, this black squad has people from Idaho included on it. There's some Wyoming kids, as you know, with Corey Williams, and even a few others as this ball shot to right field. Hall gets a good jump on the ball, though, and pulls that one in for out number 1. Wright will step up to the plate, the catcher today for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Excuse me. Yeah, it'll be Wright stepping up to do the catching. E. Stokes, the brother of the pitcher, waiting in the on-deck circle. So Wright will step in with 1 away. George working from the windup, fires in a off-speed pitch, looked to be a little bit of a slider, maybe a cutter. That finds the strike zone. The count goes to 0-1. He's being very aggressive to these hitters for the Rocky Mountain Oysters, knowing that they're being patient at the plate. Means try and get ahead of them. Already seen 7 pitches in that first inning that missed the zone, just on takes that were close pitches in some cases. 3 in this inning. As Marcus George, again, playing with the outside. Frustrated with himself on that one. Snaps at the ball as he gets it from Camerad, as that one dipped a little bit lower than he wanted it to. He knew the 1-1 was a good pitch for him to try and get ahead again. That pitch misses upstairs. And to 3-1 the count goes. Sixers playing just a little bit to the pull side. Out in center with Horton. Everybody else straight up all around the diamond as a called strike moves the count to full. Second full count of the day that Marcus George has seen. Corey Williams walked to lead off the game on a full count. George winds, the righty. Sees this one off the end of the bat, poked out into center field for a single. Wright knew he was going to get a chance at one in the zone. George not wanting to surrender the walk, and takes a compact swing and just barrels it out to the middle. Brings up the brother of the pitcher, as we'll also have a courtesy runner heading out onto the diamond for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. I believe that's Reed, actually, if I'm not mistaken, who just jogged out there. Possibly Embry, one of those extra hitters. Regardless, runner over at first base is the courtesy runner. Stokes will step up to the plate, right-handed batter. Slightly open stance, shows bunt. Embry started to go. Again, I'm assuming that's Embry over there. It is number 3 now that I double check and see the number on his back. Started to go and then realized that George saw the bunt and was going to go for the pickoff. He had to tumble his way back. He's almost to the cutoff, and these cutoffs aren't small. They're about 12 to 15 feet for cutoffs. He's a big lead again, and another pickoff has him diving back. Looking to go. I can see why George is being cautious, because, again, Embry is out to that big lead again, maybe about a foot shorter. He will take off on first movement from George. Throw down from Camerad on the money, but maybe a little bit late as Embry able to slide in and keep a foot on the base. Pitch, I believe, missed to Stokes for a ball, and the count goes to 1-0. Stokes will step in now with the runner in scoring position. Second inning that the Oysters have pushed a runner up to second. Haven't been able to do anything other than that to bring him around. George peers back. They'll get another pickoff, as almost had Embry leaning a little bit there, but was able to push that foot onto the base before Coates could slap a tag down onto him. Good pickoff from George on that play. Misses with the next delivery, and I believe the count to 2-0. No scoreboard here at tournament today. Hasn't been one all week, as got the field reserve, but not the press box here at Colorado Mesa. So we've been out enjoying some sunny skies and a little bit of weather at times. That pitch misses. Count goes to 3-0. Excuse me, 2-1. Umpire just flashes the count. So 2-1 the count. That first pitch of this at-bat was a strike. Marcus will tap some dirt out of his glove and readjust himself back up onto the mound, trying to get himself comfortable. One away, bottom of the second inning, no score. Oysters threatening after a single with one out and a stolen base. Now the count to 3-1 as Stokes lays off one up. Colson, another extra hitter, waits in the on-deck circle. With Whaling and Marsh possibly to follow, depending on how things go for the Sixers in this inning. As George trying to get out number 2. Runner takes off. Camrad was ready. The pitch was an off-speed upstairs, though, and the stolen base goes for Embry. They're talking right now on whether the pitch was upstairs for a ball or whether it was a strike. Home plate umpire saying the pitch was a strike, as the Oysters now complaining about the strike zone. Again, this umpire has had some questionable calls whenever there's been action. Sixers this time getting the benefit of that call, though. Full count, runner on third. And that's strike 3 right in the same spot. And upset, Stokes will toss the bat back to the dugout as he goes down looking. Second punch out by Marcus George. That one was right on the upper inside corner. Beautiful pitch, painted it by George. Knew he got that same spot last time. Said, I'll go right back to it if that's where you're given. Smart pitching from Marcus George, as that'll set things up for Colson to take a strike, and he needs to come away with a base knock in order to bring home Embry. Runner at third base for the Oysters on a stolen base. George misses outside as Colson takes that one, and the count goes to 1-1. That's the nice thing you like about George. He doesn't give in. Winds and fires another one that misses wide. Got a flinch from Colson, but couldn't draw him into actually extending the bat through the zone. So he'll settle in once again to peer out. 2-1 delivery. That's a strike on the outside corner. Colson grimacing as he stepped away from that one. George coming right back into the zone and taking the extra hitter by surprise. Wide on a fire from the senior. He'll miss. Another full count. 3 straight full counts for Marcus George. Gave up a single and got a strikeout. This the rubber match. Whaling waits on deck, the third baseman. But his opportunity depends on this pitch upstairs. It's going to be floated towards second and moving to his left. Crecelius with a beat on it, pulls it in, and another line drive out speared for the Sixers. They will strand another runner. We're still scoreless heading to inning number 3. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Since 1986, here's a list of cars and SUVs I have purchased or leased for myself or my family from our local dealers here in Cheyenne. Kia Optima, Sorento, K5, 2 Chevy Blazers, Honda CR-V and 3 Pilots, Aztec, Villager, Trans Am, Pontiac GT, and Grand Am. What do all these vehicles have in common? Well, for service work, even if it was just a simple oil change, they were taken care of by Shine Auto Repair and Service. Larry Pro Audi for Cars in Cheyenne, where John and his great team has always been there to take care of the Pro Audi vehicles, and yours too. John is a TechNet professional, which means he is one of the best in the country to service your car or truck. Make sure your maintenance or minor repair doesn't turn into a major problem. Call Shine Auto Repair and Service today to set up an appointment at 632-0498 or stop in at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service open Monday through Friday and taking care of your vehicle's needs for over 30 years.
Sixers are in a good game, tied up 0-0 once again with the Rocky Mountain Oysters Black Squad. These two teams have done that for 9 innings worth of their matchups against each other today. Did get a couple of runs in the 8th inning of Friday's game. 1 for the Sixers, 2 for the Oysters, but two teams again that have been very, very comparable to each other so far in this tournament. Oysters coming in 10-6-1 was the record that I saw, pulling things up as that ball punched over towards the third base bag. Long throw. Pacheco is going to be retired on 2 pitches, 5-3 the putout. Sixers making contact, but a lot of ground balls. Of the first 7 outs, 5 of them have been on the ground so far. 1 fly ball with Colin Crecelius and a strikeout to Cade Coates, as Stokes might have some movement that's fooling the Sixers pitchers, or Sixers hitters, into swinging over the top. As Kyler Hoff steps in, he swings and misses as the count goes to 0-1. Broden Robbins waiting in the on-deck circle as the Sixers still looking for that first base runner and first base knock. Hoff gets jammed up and fooled on a pitch that doesn't sink. He thought it was going to and cuts at it anyways. 0-2 count with 1 away. Top of the 3rd inning and a scoreless game on the Pepsi scoreboard. That one down low. Stokes trying to get him to go chasing. Just 27 pitches so far into this game for Stokes. Very efficient. Marcus George at 39. He's had to labor full counts, 4 of them for Marcus George so far in this game, as the Oysters have been working him at the plate. Sixers a bit more aggressive. They'll flop this one over to the right side, and then confusion near the fence as drifting back on it. Applegate looked like he might have had a bead, gave way to Reed. Reed thought he had a read on it, then suddenly got worried about the fencing as he touched the warning track, but it was kind of in that stretch of the warning track where it angles, so it's not the shorter warning track. It's you have an extra step or two, and ends up drifting away from us. Hoff stays alive. 1-2, one more time. Hoff swings and misses, and he'll go down as strikeout number 2 for Stokes. Broden Robbins will step up as the last chance for the Sixers on the first trip through the lineup. Stokes peers in over the top of the glove as he works from the first base side of the rubber, straddling the look to the plate. Gets a swing and a miss from Broden Robbins as the count goes to 0-1. And that one dips too low. Was good job laying off a pitch in about the same spot, but just not quite as accurate as the previous one was. Robbins, even in the count 1-1, nearly gets hit by the next one as flinching inside. Count goes to 2-1. Stokes will take some time after that miss and readjust the ball cap. Strike on the inside. He is not wanting Robbins to get extended. That one finds the inside corner. 2-2 count. Stokes looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Can the Sixers put a little bit of a stick into the bicycle spokes? Not on that one. Outside, missing. Count to 3-2. Oysters dugout wanted that one, but that one was well off of the plate. 6 or 8 inches. Stokes with the 3-2. Gets another ground ball. That one off of the hands. Rolled over to short. Marsh across the diamond. Completes the play. Sixers go down in order again. 9 up, 9 down for Stokes. We step to the bottom of the 3rd inning as Marcus George will face the bottom half or bottom third of the order. Whaling, Marsh, Hines, and Spritzer to step up to the dish for the Rocky Mountain Oysters here in Grand Junction, Colorado.
In the last week of July, you'll find the superstars of rodeo at Cheyenne Frontier Days. The world's top cowboys, cowgirls, buck and brocks, and toughest bulls. Grab your hat, pull on your boots, and join in the Cowboys' favorite rodeo. Rodeo tickets on sale now. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the wildest ride in the West.
Out on the field, a conversation being had between the manager for the Oysters and the umpires. Not sure what he's talking about, but I think the discussion had to do with Marcus George on the mound and when he comes set and whether there's a balk or not. The umpires seem to be defending George, and I've never seen George called for a balk with anything that he does, so I think the umpire's definitely in the right on this one, assuming that's what it was. He'll miss with his first pitch to Whaling, will George. Bottom of the order due up. The Oysters have gotten a man on in every inning, and he'll do the same. Whaling shoots one up the middle. The third baseman able to avoid the glove of Coates, who dives into the hole, but gets on base with the second knock for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Marsh will follow as the shortstop has an opportunity once again for the Oysters to move a runner up and try and get them over, but the Sixers have done a great job of not letting the Oysters string any hits together. George will try and keep doing that as he moves over to the third base side. He'll come set, nods the head, and catches the outside corner with a curveball. Lots of drop on that one. The count goes to 0-1. George has been having to fight his way through some of these batters. Again, the full counts and long at-bats. He's already up to 43 pitches with that last one that brings the count to 1-1. But the thing is, he's been winning the at-bats. That's all that really counts in the end. You'd love to go deep, but on the same side of things, a coach will take 5 innings of quality work versus 7 innings of giving up 8 runs. And George putting in 2 in the third innings of quality work so far. 1-2 count as he gets another strike on Marsh, the shortstop, who's been busy on the left side with a couple of assists. Sixers have sent the ball to the left side of the infield 5 times already, 3 times to third and twice to short. That one missing low and away. Marsh gets it back to 2-2. Not expecting Whaling to be going off. He's not necessarily the speedster that they've had on the base paths before. Corey Williams definitely, has got the wheels. And Wright was pinch run for by Embry, who might be one of the fastest players on the team for the Oysters. That one fouled off at the plate. Good fight by Marsh, keeps him alive. He'll see a 6th pitch in this at-bat. On deck waits Hines. Spritzer will follow as the left fielder, and then you flip the lineup over. Trying to avoid that. Get these next 3 outs if you're Marcus George. And he won't do it on that one as that ball hits softly over towards short. Kind of takes an awkward hop on the lip of the grass and ends up being an infield or a single. Not an infield, just getting into the outfield single for Marsh. And runners now on first and second, as the Oysters have their best opportunity yet in the game in terms of the way things have started. They did get a runner to third with only 1 out in the last frame. Couldn't bring him home with a strikeout looking from Stokes and a line out to second. Now, though, runner in scoring position, nobody away. Runners on first and second. Double play possibility is there, and even the triple play if you can see things lined up the right way for the Sixers to get out of this one. Hines inside will watch that one lift his arms up and sail by. Checking with his coach, wants to have a quick question with him. As he calls timeout and goes and chats things over with the head man in charge. And then he'll jog back. Home plate umpire went over and said something, although Cameron took advantage of it, went out and was talking with Marcus George. So the timeout really works for both sides in this regard. Bunt shown. Hines will offer at it, but cannot get it. 1-1. We're waiting. That must have been what he was talking about. I don't know if Hines necessarily agreed with the decision to go and bunt for it, knowing that he's a guy that probably is more used to swinging for power, but his coach down the other side was calling for it on that play. We'll see if he shows again. Looks like he already is getting into that bunt position. McAnally will come in, and George will just step off of the rubber and peek back to second. Chess game is in full swing between George and Hines, with Camerad playing moderator. This time George will come to the plate. Strike at the knees on the outside, and Hines finds himself down to the count 1-2. Didn't offer to show bunt on that one. We'll just push things to a 1-2 count. Now George pitches to play with it, see if he can get Hines to go fishing at something. And Hines has been all over the place, just kind of what his approach has been, from bunt to swinging to taking. That one on the outside corner is taken advantage of by George. Good strikeout looking. You know you got the batter off balance. Go right after him, and that's what George does. Good win there for the Sixers pitcher. And now Spritzer will step up to the plate, one away. Now a double play gets you out of this one. Sixers, I see Coates come in and have a quick word with Marcus George coming in from his shortstop position. Field umpire there to chase him away after a couple of seconds. So, all right, let's get back to the game. As the number 12 batter, last batter in the order for the Oysters, will step in. Right-hander, opposite glove colors, blue on the right hand, pink on the left hand. Sees time taken as George steps off the mound again. We'll see Spritzer stride back in. Left fielder today hasn't done anything on the defensive side, still doesn't do anything on the offensive side as he swings and misses over the top of that one. 0-1 count. Corey Williams waits on deck. Barring a double play, he'll get an opportunity to take some cuts in this inning. He's got a walk to his credit already. Left-hander saw 6 pitches and walked on a full count. All depends on the situation he's going to step up to with what Spritzer does as he takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. Oysters very similar in some cases to the first time these two teams faced off. Had runners in almost every inning. Actually out-hit post 6 the last time these two teams faced off as that pitch misses upstairs in a 6-5 matchup. But neither team was able to crack through as both pitching staffs did good. Kean McDonough in particular, how about a tip of the cap to that young man? Throws 58 pitches, probably would have been able to go longer if you're not trying to get other arms out there onto the diamond. As a swing and a miss. Spritzer fooled by a fastball, moves the count to 2-2. McDonough, though, no runs, strikes out 4, gets 5 ground balls. Only gives up 2 fly balls on his way to 4 shutout innings. He was very impressive. Broden Robbins came in behind him, and outside of the struggles in the 8th, which were, again, after a long trip out there on the mound, really the only thing that ate things up is a ground ball to the left side. Finds a way past Kyler Hoff. Out at short, you see a good play to get over to the ball by Coates to keep the run from scoring. But Whaling will hold up at third as everybody's safe on an infield single. 3 singles in the frame. Corey Williams now with a chance, only 1 away, to find the first run of the game for the Oysters. He was a thorn in their side on Friday, lining into a couple of plays out in center field. And actually was talking with him before the game today. He said, well, I'm not even playing in my normal position. Normally he's used to being out in right field. We're working on the mound. They said he shut him down for the mound till the start of the college season when he gets back up to Jamestown. So he's just out there in the field from here on out, and this is the final game for him of the summer season. Old strike will greet him at the plate as Corey Williams finds himself down 0-1. Bases loaded and one away. Double play would be the optimal option for the Sixers. Strikeout would be hopeful for Marcus George as well on the mound. Gets Corey Williams to foul that ball off of his foot, and the count goes to 0-2 to the Cheyenne native. Williams given some time now, as those never feel good. He's got the ankle guard, kind of the shin guard that he's got down there, but he doesn't have the one that's got the toe flap on it. So that one catching onto his foot. He felt every stitch of that baseball. 0-2. Third base bouncing around, trying to distract George. Whaling does enough to maybe cause some distraction there. Off-speed pitch misses upstairs, and the count to 1-2. George up to his 21st pitch of this inning coming up. That's the same amount he threw last inning. He hasn't thrown less than 18 in an inning. Misses inside as the count goes to 2-2. No activity, though, in the bullpen till George really sees something come to fruition for the Oysters till they actually crack through. This is his game. He knew he was going to be playing on Sunday when I talked to him on Friday. That pitch misses upstairs, and the count goes full 3-2. The fifth full count that the Oysters have been able to work into, and the seventh time that they have forced George to throw at least 6 pitches to a batter. Corey Williams bring home a run with the walk. Takes the strike down the middle instead, though, and he'll walk back to the dugout, going the opposite direction. Another looking strikeout for Marcus George. That is his 4th strikeout of the game and his 3rd via looking. That'll bring Reed up to the plate. People start looking for walks against George because they feel like they don't have that success with the stick against him, and can't do that because he can find and dial in for a strike. He uses chase pitches when he needs to, but once he gets down to that 3-2, he has gotten very good at finding the strike zone and not giving up that walk. Finds himself down 2-0 to Reed, though, in the count here. And again, same situation, no place to put him, just 2 outs on the board. So now you just need an out anywhere on the diamond. George working from the windup again. Whaling continuing to dance around over at third base to distract him. This one will be rolled towards third. Hoff up with the ball across the diamond with a perfect throw to McAnally. Helps the Sixers out, and they escape the bases loaded jam. Sixers still tied up with the Rocky Mountain Oysters. 3 hits in the inning, but no runs as Post 6 comes up to the bat. Top of the order, due up. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows.
Stokes returns out to the mound as he'll face off against Zach Hall, Cade Coates, and Landon McAnally. Sixers still searching for their first base runner. 35 pitches for Stokes as they have been aggressive against Stokes so far in this one, trying to take cuts early on as they've seen him filling up the zone. And that's something that is a good approach when you got a pitcher that's filling it up, but the unfortunate thing for the Sixers is a lot of ground balls and weaker contact as they haven't quite been able to barrel him up in a solid way to this point in time. Hall grounded out to third to open up the ball game, got a full count. And then on an off-speed pitch, got baited into rolling over it. Right-handed batter batting in the leadoff spot. Got some time on the mound earlier this week as well. Pitched yesterday, in fact. Got 2 innings in the game yesterday. Gave up no runs in those 2 innings as he gets ahead in the count 1-0. Stokes had a long time in the dugout with that last one. And camped out and didn't have to move much. Takes another strike. And Hall finds the count 1-1. Activity now starting to get loose. Looks like Braden Pearson tossing around in the bullpen for the Sixers. That pitch misses again, and Hall finds himself in a fortunate count of 2-1. Chance to try and maybe make some contact here and drive something. Instead takes an account to 3-1. See how Stokes attacks into the zone. Sixers dugout chancing for a quality swing. They get one, but another ground ball over towards third. It has been a busy day over at third, and the busy day results in an error. Wide throw coming over from third base. Whaling couldn't keep that one on point and pulls his first baseman Applegate off of the bag. Sixers get their first run on the miscue, and they have been good when they get the leadoff man on. Cade Coates up to the base, or up to the dish, will try and take some cuts and keep this inning progressing. Puts a bunt down towards third. Whaling charges, fires to first. That time has the ball deflected away as Coates ended up seeing it connect with him. And checking to see if there's interference on the play from Coates. I don't think it's going to be. Coates was inside of the runner's lane, so he had the right to where he was. Now the focus goes to whether Coates is okay, as that's going to go as, I believe, another E5 on the play, as the throw was what drew it up the line. And back-to-back errors have the Sixers with runners now on the corners against the Rocky Mountain Oysters, with the heart of the lineup due up. Coates walking that one off. He took a tumble down the line, and good to see he's all right. Colorado Mesa's helper here that is kind of watching and overseeing the field there to make sure as well that he's all right. Might be the athletic trainer as well, or one of the athletic trainers here at the ballpark, or at the college. He goes over, checks. Now runners on the corners as Zach Hall awarely saw the ball was loose on the ground. He turned around second, moved up to third. So the Sixers put themselves in a great position where not only do you have nobody out and runners on the corners, but you also have the opportunity to maybe play with some things with the heart of the order coming up to where you don't put pressure on the heart of that order. McAnally takes the first pitch for a ball. See how Stokes can recover. He has run into a bit of a problem that's been caused by the folks behind him. 2 errors in the inning to start things off. No score, top of the 4th inning. Sixers will shoot this one towards shortstop. Bobbled, and Marsh will make another error. E6. And everybody's safe. Coming home to score Zach Hall. It will be an RBI, as he would have scored on the play no matter what. But 3 ground balls in the inning for the Sixers, and the Oysters have not been able to handle any of them. 3 straight. And the Sixers take a 1-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard. That sets up Nolan Horton. Runners on first and second now. They'll show bunt. That one was bunted at, tapped in front, barehanded by the catcher, as Wright was looking to try and throw, but he couldn't barehand it before it had gone foul, and as he was standing in foul territory, that makes sense. 0-1 the count. All bunted out again by Horton. That's a good one. They'll try for third. No, it's an infield single for Horton as the pitcher looks to third. No play there, and he had no chance to turn around and fire back as the Sixers now load the bases up. And Colin Crecelius, who flew out to center field his first time up, would take another one of those. That would bring in another run. Love to see him find a gap because with Horton's speed, he could possibly clear the bases. Suicide squeeze by the Sixers being attempted that time around as Crecelius shows bunt. Coates comes across the plate, but bunt was foul, so ends up going for nothing. Everybody will reset with just an 0-1 count. Still nobody away as we work in the top of the fourth inning. And on the corners again, double play depth up the middle for the Oysters. Stokes, deep breath, fights one to the plate. That one dug out from the inside corner of the plate, flied out to left field. Another good fly ball, though, for Crecelius that brings in a run. Sacrifice fly, and the Sixers increase the lead by 1. It's 2-0. Coming home to score, Cade Coates. Both runs unearned for Stokes in the inning, but the Sixers don't care. They keep runners on first and second. Now 1 out in the inning. Braden Camerad, who grounded out to third his first time up, will stride up. Things starting to heat up today, as are the bats for post 6. Mentioned these morning games, sometimes it really just comes down to who makes the first attack. As that ball flowing over into the bullpen, Braden Pearson searching the skies, has to duck and cover. So he got that one called out to him from Cotton, who's helping him warm up down there, and sets things up again for Camerad. 0-1 count to the catcher for the Sixers, who steps out of the way of that one inside. Count moves to 1-1. Sixers taking advantage of their first opportunity this game to really score runs. First time through the order was 9 up, 9 down as Camerad fouls this one away. Now you've had 5 straight come up to the plate that have reached base or had a productive out that scored a run. Only 1 away in the inning as Camerad swings and misses at the 1-2, and unfortunately for him goes down swinging as the third strikeout victim for Stokes. Pacheco grounded out to third his first time up. Sharply hit ball his first time up, fouls this one away as he tries to check his swing on a pitch outside. It just ends up tipping away the ball. Not holding over at first, slightly holding back at second base. That pitch bends inside but can't find the zone as Pacheco sees it to 1-1. Best news out of this inning for the Sixers, obviously the runs that they've scored, but the other good news that comes for the Sixers out of this inning is the fact that they've been able to work that pitch count up of Stokes. Swing and a miss by Pacheco, count goes to 1-2. Stokes coming in had thrown 20 pitches now in this inning. That'll give him 55 in the game. He's almost added a third plus to his count. Gets another strikeout swinging. Pacheco goes down over the top of that off-speed pitch. But the Sixers do damage with the unearned runs as they take advantage of 3 errors to kick off the game and move across a pair. They take a 2-0 lead going to the bottom of the 4th inning back in Grand Junction after a 60-second timeout.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs.
Marcus
Simple.
George
The way
returns
it
to the
should be.
mound for the
First Tier
bottom of
Bank,
the 4th
1508
inning.
Stillwater Avenue,
Expect
or
Braden
18th
Pearson
and
mostly
Cary
out for the
downtown
5th
Cheyenne.
inning.
Member
George, 65
FDIC.
pitches deep into this one's given up 4 hits, but has not given up any runs, and now finds his team placing him in position to come away with the victory if he can throw, or at least be in line for the victory if he can put another 0 up onto the board in this frame. Camrad heads out to chat with him for one final moment as Applegate, Godfrey, and Embry will be the scheduled 3 hitters. They went 0 for 3, struck out looking, a line out to short, and a fly out to right field as the 3 previous activities for those guys. Conversation breaks up as, again, happy to have you out here in Grand Junction with us. It's been a good week of baseball for the Sixers. We're about an hour into the final game of the weekend. And also good luck to the Cheyenne Class B squad as they take on Lander. That game just getting underway as that is their chance to punch a ticket into the championship game. Applegate swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. 0-1. Now turns on another one. Popped up towards short. Coates drifts back and takes the pop out in. Weak contact to start things off. 2 pitches in. Marcus George gets his first out. An efficient first batter is. Now we'll see what Gottfried can do. He lined out to short his first time up. And that tall, lanky pitcher that was out on the mound for Oysters in the first time around between these 2 teams takes the first pitch for a ball. Didn't do much with the stick then in that game either. It was weak contact in his first plate appearance as he takes a strike to move the count to 1-1. And just missing outside. Good eye by Gottfried on a pitch that was very close. George has been touching the edges. That one shot to right. That one, if it touches fair, could be a problem, and it does. Hits the warning track dirt down the right field corner and moves almost all the way into the corners. Godfrey coasts into second base with a double with 1 away. Hall got over to that ball as quickly as he could, but that one just tailing away, ended up landing a foot inside of the foul line. And another base runner. That's the 5th hit for the Oysters in the game. Still haven't scored any runs, as they haven't really been able to string the extra base hits together too much. Embry, he was a courtesy runner for Wright after he flew out to right field. Wright then singled behind him, and he would run for the catcher. Embry flew out, though, in his first opportunity. Got a big hit the first time these 2 teams matched up against each other. Got wheels, though. That's his biggest gift. Has the long hair tightened up in a bun just under the base of the helmet. Steps in with the black gloves and peers out to George. First pitch from Marcus upstairs for a ball. And crowd fairly sparse today at the yard. Sixers actually might have the bigger crowd than the Oysters do today. Pick off back to second base in time safely as Gottfried. Attention directs back to Embry once again. They're playing him deep out in right field. Hall probably about 10 steps in front of the warning track there. Center field fairly shallow, actually. Horton playing about mid-depth, maybe even a little bit tighter than that, and then normal depth out in left field. Broden Robbins is patrolling for the Sixers. We'll lead this one 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 away, runner on second base for the Oysters. They'll get another ball lifted out to right field. This time Hall guides himself to it, as that was much easier for him to play. It was actually almost just as deep as he was playing. And the fly ball results in an out. Up to third base does go Gottfried, as it does move him up 90 feet, but with 2 outs, now it comes down to whether or not Wright can get himself another single. He is 1 for 1 today. The catcher sent one up the middle, or excuse me, over to the left side, that was just able to creep its way through into the outfield past Coates. Needs another one of those in order to bring home the first run for the Oysters. Sixers a chance to spot up another 0 and take a 2-0 lead into the 5th. Rolled towards third, and that ball bounces foul. Count to 0-1 on Wright. On deck waits Stokes. He struck out looking his first time up. Jimmy Wright takes another one up and away to move the count to 1-1. George trying to fight his way through a 4th inning of work, get himself lined up for the win. Misses upstairs, needs one more out. That's all he needs. He's been good in this one. He's had to labor, but he's been good. Difference between the two terms. Laboring doesn't always mean that you've had a bad outing. Laboring just sometimes means that you've had to work harder to get through that one. And George putting on a winning effort in this one so far. 3-1 count, though, as he misses there. Chance to potentially put the runner on the corners for the Oysters and open them some doors to how they could possibly bring that run home from third. Runner fakes going. The ball shot out to left. Robbins started coming in on it, froze in his tracks and froze at the right spot. Pulls that one in on a line drive, and the Sixers come away with another 0 despite the 1-out double. George able to put up 4 zeros in his 4 innings of work, along with his 4 punch-outs. As we expect him possibly to come back, but most likely Braden Robbins will keep you toast on that one for the bottom of the 5th. It's the top of the 5th coming up next. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs. Simple, the way it should be. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, or 18th and Cary in downtown Cheyenne. Member FDIC.
At Fat Boys Tire and Auto, our business is about more than just selling tires and fixing cars. We believe in faith, family, and community. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and 3 generations later, our values have never changed. When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys, and we'll treat you like family. Fat Boys Tire and Auto.
Sixers will look to add to a 2-0 lead as we move to the 5th inning here in Grand Junction, Colorado. Happy to have you here with us on 1480 K-Ray. Just after the 10 o'clock hour in sunny Grand Junction, Colorado. Sixers looking to move to 3-1 after 4 games against the Oysters this week. Hoping to see a little bit of a different challenge, but got the same opponents. Got the gold, the white, the black squad, and then they face off against the black squad again. And this time a little bit of revenge on the mind for the Sixers after this team stole one from them, 2-1 in extra innings. Sixers will take a strike as up to the plate. Kyler Hoff leads things off for them in this top of the 5th inning. Sixers on the other side now have a 2-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard. Hoff will foul that pitch away and quickly down 0-2 as Stokes trying to bounce back from an inning where he gave up 2 unearned runs. 3 errors in the field in that inning helped the Sixers along. So roll this one out, kind of no man's land. Stokes, though, gets to it. Quick flip onto the mound or onto the first baseman, and a 1-3 put out. And back to a run of retired in a row. That's 4 straight Sixers that have gone down since those errors. Sixers still just 1 hit in the game. Broden Robbins up to the plate. He grounded out to short his first time up. That ended the 3rd inning. He'll put a bunt down, and he's going to hustle down to the bag to beat that one out as the catcher popping out of the crouch right didn't get to it in time, and an infield single for Robbins results in the 2nd hit of the game for the Sixers and some speed down at first base. Zach Hall, who scored the opening run of the game for the Sixers in the last inning after reaching on an error, he'll stride into the batter's box, leadoff spot in the order. Righty-righty matchup. Robbins doesn't wait. He takes off right away. Throw is going to beat him to the bag, and a tag slapped onto the backside of Robbins cuts him down on the 2-6 putout. Robbins a little bit confused on that one. He thought he slid in ahead of it, but it was a heads-up play made by the tag by the shortstop as he put himself in position behind Robbins for when he caught it to put that one on. There's a good pop from the catcher despite a good jump from Robbins. Hall will follow up with a roll over towards third, and a quick inning for Stokes gets the Oysters back up to the plate. 3 up, 3 down, around a single for the Sixers. Have them still just up 2-0 as it just takes 6 pitches through that inning to get through it. We move to the bottom of the 5th, and coming out onto the mound for the Sixers, Braden Pearson will try and bring this one home with them leading the Oysters of, or the Rocky Mountain Oysters rather, by a score of 2-0.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Welcome back out to the home of the Grand Junction's Rocky Mountain Oysters. Oysters a kind of Legion team, kind of select team, kind of just to get 'em reps team that's here on the western slope. 3 separate teams, all of them playing here today, and the Sixers trying to get the win against the one team that clipped them in this series over here in the western slope. Up at the plate, it'll be E. Stokes, the extra hitter, struck out looking his first time up. Colson and Whaling all going against Braden Pearson, who will come in relief, most likely trying to get all 3 of these final innings for the Sixers as he'll step up onto the mound. Marcus George, good work for him, gives up 5 hits, only 1 extra base hit, throws 78 pitches through 4 innings, and ends up facing off against 18 batters out there on the mound. But good work for him, strikes out 4. Only walks 1 batter, and that was back in the first inning. Really drew that command in as the game went on, and that was the leadoff batter, was that opening walk. Pearson comes in. He's another fireballer, gets a swing and a miss from Stokes, and the count goes to 0-1. Pearson more out of the bullpen for the Sixers this year than as a starter. Started off the beginning of the season as a starter, and Coach Barker said, I like him out of the bullpen a little bit more as a guy I can bring in as my closer and bring in to slam the door shut on teams. He does his job on that nicely. Misses inside here, though, and the count goes to 1-2. Bottom half of the lineup, 12 batters for the Oysters in this one as they use the extra hitter rule. Talking to their coach about that, he says, not really an advantage for us. So we got to wait longer to get people through, but it gets our kids reps, gets them opportunities to play, and keeps everybody on the team happy. Stokes swings and misses. He's a punch-out victim for the first one for Braden Pearson. Colson will step up to the plate after lining out to second his first time up. That was back in the second inning. Ended the second inning, in fact, on that line out. Right-hander against the right-hander on the mound for the Sixers. Pearson misses inside, lost the grip a little bit on that one, and the count goes to 1-0 on Colson. Just missing low. Hard fastball that dots the glove of Camrad, but the umpire says it just was off of the plate as the count goes to 2-0. One away, this ball chopped on 3 bounces over to McAnally. He takes it 3 unassisted to the bag. First time he's had a chance to field a ball other than one that's been thrown across the diamond to him. Even then, not a whole lot of ground balls. That's actually only the 3rd ground ball out of this game so far. 2 lineouts, 4 punch-outs for George, and a couple of fly balls. Tale of 2 games. The Sixers putting the ball on the ground almost every time and taking advantage with the errors that helped to produce as Whaling steps in. He singled his first time up the middle and takes a strike. Meanwhile, Oyster is a lot more up in the air, but running into a few more gloves when they do that. Those line drive outs. This ball missing from Braden Pearson, the count to 1-1. Spoiled off to the right side, just past the reaching hands there in the dugout. A little bit out of the reach of a couple of the players. Count to 1-2, and now a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning for Braden Pearson. As he'll wind, fire, and get the swing and a miss. 2 punch-outs of the 3 batters that he faced. Pearson sets them down in order, and we head to the 6th inning. Sixers still in control of this one by a score of 2-0. Back to Grand Junction, Colorado after this.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes, let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Dew.
Welcome back out into the summer sun of Grand Junction, Colorado, where it has been a beautiful weekend. Had a couple of thunderstorms move over, but smoke from wildfires has cleared out of the area, and the last couple of days has been absolutely gorgeous here in the Grand Valley. Got views of the Grand Mesa off in the distance to the south, views of the Colorado National Monument off to the west, and the picturesque campus of Colorado Mesa off to the southwest of us, just over the outfield fences here in Grand Junction. As Cade Coates will step to lead things up. Stokes still on the mound for the Oysters. He'll miss over the back of Coates, who ducks out of the way, and the count goes to 1-0. Stokes still just 62 pitches coming into this inning, through 6 in the last frame. Sixers roughed him up with 2 runs in the 4th inning, but he bounced back well. This is inside, though, to Coates, and starting to go into that part of the order that he had some troubles with, both between the errors that were made and also just the ball being put in play. Coates is 0 for 2, but does have a run. Lifts this ball into right field. Easy play out there, though, for Reed, who camps under it and puts it away, out number 1. Coates will be 0 for 3 on the day. Sixers still just the 2 hits, 1 bunt single, and actually both of them bunt singles. Nolan Horton's a bunt, and Broden Robbins with the bunt single. Get runners on first base each time, and one just happened to happen when there was a slew of other runners out there. This ball popped up over by the third base dugout, stays in play, and putting it away on that left side is Embry, who's come in from being an extra hitter and taken over at third for Whaling, who made 2 of those errors. Just 4 pitches to get the 2 pop-outs and flyouts. Up to Nolan Horton, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Mentioned it, got the bunt single to try and extend things. Stokes missing low and inside, falls behind the number 4 batter in the order for the Sixers. And they'll spoil this one away. Count to 1-1. Tracilius waits in the on-deck circle. He's 0 for 1, but does have a sacrifice fly to his name. Up before Camarad and Pacheco ended up seeing that inning closed out with a pair of strikeouts as Horton swings and misses at 1 away. And the count goes to 1-2. Stokes trying to close out this final AB. Of the top of the 6th inning. Can't get it there. That pitch just a bit high. Count to 2-2. 2-2 delivery. Coates to stay alive. Lifts this one into center. Williams was playing shallow. Has to drift back, but gets underneath it in plenty of time. And that'll do it for the Sixers. Another 1-2-3 frame. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 2-0 Sixers. As the Oysters, down to their final 6 outs against Braden Pearson, will try and answer back. You're listening to Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
I always get a kick when I see ads for a huge vault of silver they found, or they get their gold from a certain company. Hi, this is Larry Perotti for the Coin Shop in downtown Cheyenne. Family owned and operated since 1982. You can buy and sell your gold or silver, along with other precious metals, including palladium and platinum, at the Coin Shop each Tuesday through Friday. You'll always get top dollar for your gold or silver, as David Brockman has his eye on the precious metals market each day. So stop on by for a fair and honest appraisal of your precious metals, or give David a call and set up a time to stop by. You'll always find coin collections, collectible coins, proof and mini sets, and more today. So why wait for the others? Shop the Coin Shop in historic downtown Cheyenne at 510 West 16th Street, open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Or give them a call at 778-7196.
Braden Pearson heads out to the mound for another inning of work as he'll look to try and slam the door shut on the Oysters, who come into this one down 2-0 here in the 6th inning of work. Oysters just 2 more frames left to try and score their first runs. They've picked up 5 hits, all those against Marcus George. Braden Pearson came in and got 2 punch-outs and a weak ground out to begin his day on the mound, and starts off with a called strike to Marsh, the shortstop. Marsh singled his last time up. He was part of that inning where the Oysters got the bases loaded in the 3rd. They got that with 1 out, but couldn't bring anybody home. A strikeout looking to Corey Williams, and a ground ball to third base finished off the inning as Marcus George tight-roped his way out of bases loaded, 1 out. This ball sent out into center field. Horton glides to it. He puts it away, though. Looked like it might off of the bat cause a little bit of trouble, but it hung up in this hot western slope air long enough for him to glide over to it. Hines will step to the ball. The extra hitter struck out looking his first time up. He was sandwiched in the middle of those 3 singles and struck out on a 1-2 count. Got caught in between bunting and then swinging, and then George took advantage of the confusion and said, all right, I'll just get you looking. 0-1 count to him as Braden Pearson looking to try and get his 5th consecutive out in relief. This one shot up the middle, though. That'll be a tough play. Coates deep in the hole, throws to first, and they get him on a skip that's pulled in by McAnally. Hines not the quickest down the line, but either way, that one was in plenty of time. He was beat by 2 steps. Impressive play by Coates, who had to come all the way across the diamond from shortstop across second base, and his momentum taking him toward the bag gave him the ability to call off Crecelius and say, I can make the throw. McAnally, a good scoop on the backside, and a good out by the Sixers as a team. Swing and a miss by Spritzer, who steps up to the plate. He falls behind. Another thing on that play, Crecelius could have got to that ball to take it, but if he takes it, he's throwing off of his back heel and against his momentum. And that might have been the difference in that play. Called strike to the outside. Spritzer doesn't like that call as the count goes to 0-2. Pearson will peer in over the top of that baby blue glove that he's got and gets a swing and a miss, his third punch out of this appearance. 6 up, 6 down for Braden Pearson as post 6 heading into the 7th inning, looking for a bit more insurance. Leads the way 2-0 over the Rocky Mountain Oysters here in Grand Junction.
Visit the heart of Cheyenne's history at the Cheyenne Depot Museum. The Depot Museum is home to many events and is a National Historic Landmark as the last Grand Railroad station on the Transcontinental Route. See the narrow gauge UCNN model railroad, and don't forget to visit the Depot Gift Shop where they have many unique gift ideas. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Cheyenne Depot Museum at 121 West 15th Street in the heart of downtown Cheyenne.
Sixers an inning away from closing things out and going 3-1 in Grand Junction as they lead 2-0 over the Rocky Mountain Oysters squad. A couple of unearned runs back in the 4th inning, the difference of this one so far. Sixers just the 2 hits, both of them bunt singles. But they have stymied the Oysters, and especially since Braden Pearson's come on, 6 straight retired for Pearson, 8 total straight retired by the Cheyenne Sixers pitching staff. As it'll be up to Crecelius, Camerad, and Pacheco to find a way to chase Stokes off of the mound as he's out there trying for his complete game. And excuse me, I believe we have a new pitcher out there on the mound. This looks to be the other Stokes, E. Stokes, coming in to fire for this final inning. A little bit taller. Where's the number 32, but pitching on the heels of his brother. Gets a chopper from Crecelius on the first pitch, and a fire across the diamond from Marsh is going to result in the out. 1 pitch, 1 out, 6-3 the put out. Crecelius goes 0 for 2 on the day, does have an RBI. Braden Camerad will follow. 0 for 2, struck out swinging his last time up, grounded out to third. Same thing for Pacheco in the hole. The first pitch called a strike, big breaking ball to Camerad, has him down to the count 0-1. For the Oysters in the top of the 7th, or bottom of the 7th, it'll be Williams, Reed, and Applegate, the top of their order. That ball fouled off, and Camerad behind the count 0-2 quickly. So the Oysters will have a shot with some of their better bats, but a part of the order that also hasn't necessarily gotten on base with consistency, although not many have. This ball lifted out to left field. That one pulled in by Spritzer, who comes in on a run. Camerad gives it a ride, but he's going to go 0 for 3 today with that fly out. And Pacheco will step to the plate. Struck out swinging and grounded out to third to lead off the 3rd inning. Ended the 4th inning with that strikeout swinging after the Sixers sent 7 to the plate. He had a big hit yesterday, too. Got on base, scored a run. All part of that 7-run inning that the Sixers were able to put together when they sent 11 batters to the plate. That one misses, and the count goes to 1-1. And Pacheco battles himself back even. That's the first pitch that Stokes has missed with in this relief of his brother. Pacheco takes another one that kicks up some dirt in the left-handed batter's box as the count goes to 2-1. Hoff and Robbins wait, hoping for chances as that strike 2. Umpire got ahead of himself for a second there. Made the signal for strike 3 and then says, oh, wait a second. Now there's strike 3 as Pacheco is going to go down looking. That is the first punch out for E. Stokes and sends us to the bottom of the 7th inning. Last chance for the Oysters as the Sixers have a 2-0 lead going to the final frame. Looking to try and get some revenge against the Oysters, who got them 2-1 earlier on in this tournament. Back with the final frame after this on 1480 K-Ray.
Rock on Wheels is Wyoming's premier bicycle shop. The service department offers quality and experience with a 48-hour turnaround guarantee based on parts and availability. They even offer tune-ups for your current bike along with powder coating and sandblasting. So swing by the shop and take advantage of the awesome prices for great bikes like Trek and many other name brands. Rock on Wheels even offers bike rentals for the avid rider. They're proud to be locally owned and operated. You'll find Rock on Wheels at 900 East Lincoln Way. Call 637-0020 to start pedaling your way to a whole bunch of fun.
At Fat Boys Tire and Auto, our business is about more than just selling tires and fixing cars. We believe in faith, family, and community. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and 3 generations later, our values have never changed. When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys, and we'll treat you like family.
Braden Pearson to close things out. He's faced the minimum so far in his relief appearance as the Sixers head into this final frame with a 2-0 lead. Corey Williams will lead things off for the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Behind him, it'll be Reed and Applegate as a crew. They're 0 for 4, a walk and a sacrifice bunt, as Williams pokes the first pitch he sees from Braden Pearson foul to the left side. Williams struck out looking with the bases loaded with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Walked to lead off the ball game. He's been having to be patient at leadoff spot with the extra hitters that make it 12 batters deep in this Rocky Mountain Oysters lineup. They take well advantage of that, and Williams will foul this one away. Although talking to coach is not sure how much of the advantage that you have with that extra hitter, or the 3 extra hitters that they load into theirs. 12 total batters in the lineup for the Oysters. Called strike 3 on Williams. He goes down looking. That's 4 punch outs for Pearson in relief. Slamming the door shut on this one. Brings things up with Reed. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice to his credit. Grounded out to 3rd in his only other plate appearance. The sacrifice was a 2-3 putout. 2 more outs left separating this one as that ball missed by Camerad. A bit too much height to it and bounces off of his dome. 1-0 the count. Pearson will wind and fire the 1-0 and get back into the count 1-1. Applegate on deck, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop out. He hasn't been able to do much either. Another lefty as that ball swung on and foul tipped into the glove. Just a piece of it for Reed as he got stuck chasing one way outside of the zone. And he's down to his final strike. 1-2 count, 1 away, bottom of the 7th, and a 2-0 lead for the Sixers. That ball off the end of the bat, shallow right field. Hall has got the beat on it and comes in to put that one away. Fly out to right, and that'll do it for him. Hall has had a couple of those go his way today. Quite a few fly balls today for the Oysters, who have been putting the ball up into the air, but again, not with much authority. They've just been not able to necessarily barrel anything up. Neither side has, as possibly due to this early morning start for this one, 9 a.m., and still haven't quite touched 10:30. Right around 10:30, I should say. It looks like the clock out there in Center field has just drifted past it. Either way, it sets up possibly the final batter of this one. Applegate trying to extend it. Gottfried waits on deck. Applegate popped out to short his last time up after striking out looking in the first inning. That was when Williams was on second. Led off the fourth inning with that pop out and pops one up here, but foul over to the left side as the count goes to 0-1. No doubles for the Sixers down the lines. Deep in the outfield as well, although the gaps have some room to find if you can touch one out there between the outfielders. 1-1 count. Pearson misses upstairs as the count goes to 2-1. Gottfried would represent the tying run, but a long ways to go with 2 outs in this inning for the Oysters when this is your last go and last hurrah. Pearson gets a chopper to first, but that one twists its way foul down the line. And now you're down to your final strike potentially if you're the Oysters. Oysters went 2-1, as did the Sixers. I apologize. 3-0 as did the Sixers. That one misses up and away too. Full count to the final batter potentially of this one. Pearson underneath that red cap, blue brim peers in. This ball hit well out to right. That one's got some carry to it. Hall back to the fence. Does he have room? He does. Right in front of the fence, pulls that one in, and the Sixers get a spot of revenge against the Rocky Mountain Oysters with a 2-0 victory in the championship game as they end up picking up their 43rd win of the season. Sixers, nice win. They'll move on to the state tournament after this. We'll wrap things up from Grand Junction after this as Post 6 baseball comes away once again with a 2-0 win here on the road in Grand Junction. Back after a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Post 6 baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
If you're looking for a quick breakfast or lunch, you're looking for the Bread Basket. If you're busy and can't take time out for a healthy breakfast, stop in and try one of our breakfast burritos loaded with potatoes, eggs, cheese, bacon, and our homemade green chili wrapped in a 12-inch flour tortilla. Or, for a fast lunch, try our delicious cabbage burgers, hamburger, onions, and cabbage wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery. Wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery.
Sixers pulling off a 2-0 win on 2 unearned runs by the Rocky Mountain Oysters as they come away with the championship. Everybody all hugs and smiles down there on the field for both sides as end up trading a little bit of photography and pictures and exchanges there. Of course, a couple of Sixers and one of the Oysters on the other side, and Corey Williams, a couple other Wyoming athletes that ended up making their way over there to play for the Rocky Mountain Oysters this year. For the Sixers today, only 2 hits. Nolan Horton goes 1 for 3 with a bunt single. Broden Robbins 1 for 2 with a bunt single. He was caught stealing on that attempt out on the base paths. Sixers did get runs from Zach Hall, who reached on an error in the 4th, and Cade Coates, who reached on an error. An RBI ground out by Landon McAnally got him on base with that error in the 4th as well. And a sacrifice fly by Colin Crecelius got him the RBI. Offers for the rest of the Sixers on that side. Pitching-wise, though, for the Sixers, things looked good. Marcus George, 4 innings of work, ends up facing off against 18 batters, strikes out 4 of them, gives up 5 hits, did deal with some fly balls, but ended up working his way through some tight traffic, particularly the bases loaded 1-out jam. And then how about Braden Pearson, who's been kind of on a rest period for the last little bit, comes in out of relief, 9 batters up, 9 batters down, 4 punch-outs, and a couple of fly balls for Braden Pearson in this one, as the Sixers again cap things off with a 2-0 victory. Sixers finish off the regular season 43-22, and state tournament action is coming up next. We'll be over there at the state tournament covering the Sixers as they look to possibly be the 3 seed or the 2 seed, depends on tiebreakers with Casper and the Oilers when it comes down to it. Head-to-head, they ended up splitting, so not sure where it goes after that one for those tiebreakers. If they are the 3 seed, there's a chance they could face off against the Cheyenne Hawks, who look like they might be that number 3 seed going into it. If they're the 2, it'll probably be Rock Springs or Jackson, whoever comes away with a contest down there. Still other things to be decided in the state field, so keep an eye on the KRA Facebook pages and social media pages for updates there. But once again, thank you for joining us here out in Grand Junction all weekend long. Looking forward to a week from now, starting that state tournament off in Powers Field over in Cheyenne. Big thanks to all of our sponsors who make it possible for us to bring you athletics here on 1480 KRA. Affordable Computer Repair, the Bread Basket Bakery, the Brake Stop, Key of Cheyenne, Capital Lumber Company, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Frontier Days, Halliday Subaru, Wyoming's Department of Transportation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Cheyenne's Depot Museum, 2 doors down, Burns Insurance Agency, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Jason Gilbert, your Allstate Insurance Agent, Rock on Wheels, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Platte Valley Bank, the Coin Shop, and Pepsi of Cheyenne, once again bringing you your scoreboard, where the Sixers come away with a 2-0 victory today over the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Thanks again for joining us. For Larry Proetti back in studio once again. We'll talk to you on Monday the 28th at the state tournament.